All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of brisket and barbecue, Lone Stars and Longhorns, this is All In Colts, presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. This week, the Colts have a second division road game in a row and play the Titans coming off of a bye. We will give you our keys to the game, matchups to watch, and our predictions. So, let's go. All In Colts.
I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. And we're the Unstable Blues, happy to present All In Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network.
Yep. Hold on, let me take my drink of water before we go. Gotta keep it moist.
That's true. It's true.
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. No Colts corner Bolton this time. Just straight into it.
Like, what more can we say? Like, there's a battlefield of injuries.
Yeah.
And there's
lots and lots.
Headstones of people's seasons strewn across the field of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yep.
And that might be extra dramatic, but it's the way it feels. So with all of that, now the Colts go to Tennessee, where they finally swept the Titans for the first time in a long time last year. Had to go all the way into overtime last year with Gardner Minshew to get it done. So headed into this week, with all the information of Will Levis in his shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will Levis in his mayonnaise. What are your keys to the game to try to get a Colts victory here?
So I think the run offense / defense last year for the Titans was one of their strong suits in games. They could be gritty whenever it comes down to it. They lost Derrick Henry, but they gained Tony Pollard. Their run offense hasn't lost very much. I'd say their run defense hasn't gotten better, though. I'd say it's probably gotten worse. So I think this guy, Jonathan Taylor, if he's back or not, will play a huge factor. Now, I made the mistake last week of putting him as my all-in player to watch, not knowing if he was actually going to play or not. Didn't end up playing, so I kind of failed in that aspect, but it's fine. We're going to do better than that this week. But I think our run game needs to be very strong. I think for us to actually be able to control the game like we need to, you need a strong run game, which is run the ball and keep running the ball.
There it is.
Last week, we kind of, I don't know if it was debated or argued, whatever you want to put it. We kind of talked about it. I said they didn't run the ball enough. And you were like, they did run the ball, though. I was like, they didn't enough. And then we talked about the extension of the screen game and stuff like that. And yes, the extension of the run game is the screen game. But there's nothing like running the ball. So you got to be able to run the ball so that Joe Cool can be Joe Cool in the pocket and just be able to work and do what he does, assuming Joe Flacco plays. If AR, that adds a whole nother aspect to running the ball. But as of right now, I'm assuming AR is sitting out and Joe Flacco's in. That's where my head is at right now. I think even if it's a close call, you keep Joe in because last game was not his fault. He had 0 turnovers. Actually, he had 1. He had the fumble, which resulted in 3 points. So, but all things said, he played pretty well. So I think running the ball, obviously a big point. I think last week we did this really well. The the quick pass game to the running back where play action and then the linebacker bites, comes in, running back's able to slip out just a little bit, get a quick dump off to them. I think that worked really well. We need to get Adonai Mitchell involved more, especially if Pitt isn't playing. Josh Downs needs to be involved a ton more. Use the tight ends Doesn't have to be one tight end. You can use a whole bunch of them because Joe likes to use them. Throw some more deep balls to Alec Pierce. We saw Joe Flacco has an arm and can put it on the dime. Keep doing that, Joe. On the defensive side of the ball, play like a team. I think we're missing. I know we are missing a lot of people on defense. A lot of people on offense, but it seems more substantial on the defensive side of the ball. Play as a team. Talk with each other while you're on the field. Make sure everyone knows what's going on, what the plan is. If someone calls an audible out in the field because they see something, trust the audible. Don't keep doing what you're going to do. Play as a team. Team ball is very important, especially when you're around the defense. You see a lot of great defenses they have one or two outstanding players that you know their name, but the other people you don't necessarily know their name, but they're still a great defense. And then by the end of the season, you know those other people's names because of how much team defense you've been playing. And I'm going to throw in something else real quick. Special teams. 1, Matt Gay. Make your kicks. Even though Spencer should be the guy. Number
He's
2.
back off the team.
I know, I saw that.
Mm.
Number 2. Let's get a blocked punt, just like last year. You know what? Throw in 2. Why not?
Yeah. I agree. Can I throw something else special team at you?
Yeah.
Before I get into all my keys?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you brought up special teams, I saw that 67.5% of all kickoffs are still touchbacks so far this year.
It's true. Kind of sad.
And
honestly.
we talked about this at the beginning. I am very surprised, and I'm very surprised that the Colts haven't been one of the front runners in this, knowing how creative our special teams coordinator is. Name is escaping me right now. Look that up for me, fact checker. So he's from Zionsville. I know that. Like born and bred. So I want a kickoff in this new kickoff. And I think I saw it happen once. Did you get the name yet? Okay.
You at least know where he came from.
I do, yeah, absolutely. He's from Zionsville.
No.
Where he came from. He was from Notre Dame before this.
Yep. Brian Mason.
Brian Mason, yes.
The punt block team.
It was right there in the tip of my tongue. I just couldn't quite get it. That's my terrible Adam Sandler impression. Okay, so he's creative and he like comes up with the punt block team, not the punt return team, all these things. Why have we not done more with this kickoff? Okay, because here's the deal. I didn't even realize that this rule was part of it until this happened in the Steelers-Cowboys game, I think. If it bounces in the landing zone and then goes in the end zone, it's still a touchback. But it only goes out to the 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and hang time doesn't matter because they have to stand still until it hits. Once it lands on the ground, not in a person's hands, on the ground, they can move. Give them a knuckleball that comes in all weird and wonky, lands at the 15. Don't try to place it like on the side because then it might go out of bounds, and that's a terrible thing. Now they get it to like 35 or something crazy. Put it like on a hash mark. Boom, when it's going to do all this. Force the returner to try to pick that up. The decision to pick that up or not pick that up. If they don't pick it up and it doesn't go in the end zone, well, that's huge. If they do pick it up, guess what? Your players have started to move as soon as that thing hits the ground. And now they have to contend with this ball and try to do something with it with people already coming at them like an old traditional kickoff. But even weirder because the ball's doing weird stuff. If they choose to not pick it up and it goes in the end zone, the worst case scenario here is they get it at the 20-yard line. I don't think there's a bad thing. I mean, obviously, like they could pick it up and do something crazy with it, but
You gotta
at
trust your
least
return guys.
at least once it's going to be a surprise,
Mhm.
and it's going to get you some good field position, especially if your defense can, stop. So maybe not the opening kickoff, but at some point, let's do something creative with the kickoff, please. I feel like it's right there. It's right there as an option. We're just no one's doing it, and I don't know why. It baffles me. Maybe it baffles me because I'm not a special teams coordinator in the NFL, and there's a reason for that. Because maybe there's some dumb reason that I'm not thinking of, but I don't get it. Okay, moving on. My keys to the game. Ready? My keys to the game have nothing to do with which quarterback is actually playing or not, because I think that those differences are self-explanatory to anybody who knows much about football and knows the difference between Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco. They're two different people. They will run two different styles of offense. But you're playing the Tennessee Titans no matter what. So your defense is pretty much the same. So a lot of this has to do with defense. And the way you attack their defense should be kind of the same because they have the same defense no matter what. Okay? Pressure the jeans off Billy Jeans. Earlier this week, I gave you a tease, and it said jeans, and that meant Billy Jeans. That's his nickname. Will Levis. Every time I see Levi's now, I always see Levis. But that's neither here nor there. I think Levi's will far outlast Will Levis. Already have. He has proven that he will make mistakes just trying to play hero ball. Make him do it. Let's come up with another meme of Will Levis with the Colts in the background. I didn't do it. I pull up the picture with the.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, I did it. I had it on my phone. I just didn't dump it here. Go out and search up Will Levis Dolphins crying, and you'll find it. It's priceless. Not even sure why he's crying. He wasn't even in the game at that point. His shoulder was already too hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Establish the run game, like you said. Work multiple levels of the field on offense. Meaning, push the ball down the field to open up the medium and short game. Do quick game to open up those deep shots. Work the middle of the field when you. Does that make sense? Oh, here we go. Yep.
Hold on, let me see if this helps. Focus.
There it is. Yep. Just crying. No reason, just crying. Just outing like a child. So does that make sense? Like you work the multiple levels of the field to open up all the different levels of the field, right? If you're just going deep to Alec Pierce, they're going to shut that down. If you're just going short crossers to Josh Downs, they're going to pick that off. They're going to, shut it down. I think the tight ends could have a big game here. I think with everything going on with Pitt, I think that Kylan Granson, Drew Tree, Mo Alley Cox, Will Mallory are going to be able to fill in some of those gaps by finding spaces, having kind of a Josh Downs crosser this way with the tight end coming down and sitting in a spot in a zone, right?
Yeah.
I think that's possible, but it's only possible if you work all those different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And then also take what the defense gives you. Okay. The Titans defense is opportunistic. Do not give them the opportunity. Which leads me to my next point. You might know where I'm headed. Protect the ball. Take the ball.
There we go. There it is.
You win the turnover battle. You're almost guaranteed to win the game. Almost.
This past week.
Almost.
So wait, hold on. So since I think it's more applicable.
Yep. You got it. Yep.
Where
Let's take the time.
if you run the ball and keep running the ball, you win the game the majority of the times if you protect the ball and take the ball. I think there's more success if you run the ball and keep running the ball. Now, if you pass the ball and you win that way, yes, but I don't know.
Maybe both of these things that we
Correlate?
said work together. And if you run the ball and keep running the ball and protect the ball and take the ball,
Yeah. Maybe it's a do both or you lose.
oh, there you go. I like it. So yeah, win the turnover battle. Don't let Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears or both of them, either one of them, get going. Because once they get going, they can keep going. This ties into what I talked about in the defense yesterday with fantasy. You got to tackle.
Yep.
All the way to the ground. Don't give them a chance to start going off because they have a tendency to keep doing that, right? And then as a caveat to that, watch the screen game because they'll do that too. We saw Jacksonville do the same kind of thing. Okay, you're going to shut down our run game a little bit. Well, now we're going to just do this. Whoop, got it. Wrap up and finish those tackles. The Titans receiving core is old, but some might say experienced. Make them look old. Put them in the retirement home. Make sure that they look like Carl Fredrickson when the game is over. And then the last one is this. It's going to be a grinder of a game. It's going to come down to the end. Complementary football and clock management will be huge. This is something that in his first season, Shane Steichen seemed to be a master at, but seems to be not so great at this season of clock management and understanding of game situation. I understand that it is much easier for us to sit down on a couch on Sunday and be critical of that.
True.
But this is part of what you get paid the big bucks for as a head coach. Not just an offensive coordinator, not just an offensive mind, not just a developer of quarterbacks, but a head coach has to head coach and coach the entire game.
It's true.
What are your matchups to watch?
I don't have very many, only because I don't really know a ton of the Titans players.
Okay.
I think Tajay Spears / Tony Pollard versus EJ Zaire, Nick Cross if he gets some tackles, and again, just the whole tackling unit. Don't let them do what Tank Bigsby did against us. Watch the screen game, like you said. So I think Latu is a big part of that. Latu kind of he's fast. He's a fast defensive end. He gets to the edge. He can make those tackles on the outside. I think the pressure from Grove, Latu, whoever we send in there, against Will Levis, making him confused, not being able to throw the ball, and then offense, Joe Flacco versus the eyes of the linebackers and safeties, and then Jerry Sneed is still a very good corner. So him against whoever is going up against, whether it be Downs or Pierce or AD or Pitt if he's playing, whoever it be. And please, if JT is playing, I need you to have a game, man. I need this. I'm wearing your shirt.
Let's go. I got EJ Speed versus their tight end Okonkwo. Okonkwo is an underrated weapon that they have. So between EJ and maybe Jalen Carlies on the other side, kind of locking him down. I'm gonna go some trenches here. Okay, starts isn't in the trenches, so I'm gonna go Latu versus JC Latham, rookie versus rookie. Their left tackle that they drafted versus our first defensive player off the board.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna win Rookie of the Year, you gotta win against the rookie. So go at him. Grove versus Peter Skoronsky in the middle. Peter Skoronsky is maybe he's obviously we believe that Quentin Nelson is the best left guard, but Peter Skoronsky is right up there. And so Grove's got his hands full with that. Dalton Tucker, the undrafted rookie, filling in for Will Fries versus Bondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons on that right side of that line. That is one crazy right side of the line. And then when you also talk about Harold Landry, linebacker, being on that same side, I'm running to the left a lot. I'm running to the left a lot against this defense. I'm doing everything I can to stay away from the right side of that defense, if possible. And then, interesting one, whoever lines up against Daryl Baker Jr.
Okay.
He's in. I think there's an injury in front of him, so he's now in starting opposite L'Jarius Sneed. So I'm interested to see who goes at him and whether that is AD, whether that is Pierce. Whoever is going to be out there, let's give him a little lesson. Let's give him a little lesson why the Colts cut him. Alec Pierce versus Quandre Diggs and Amani Hooper. Yes, those are Hooker. Those are the safeties because that's how deep Alec Pierce is going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a couple coaching ones. Shane Steichen versus Denard Wilson, the defensive coordinator, who they were together with the Eagles during the couple years that they were there. And as always, I said, I'm going to keep saying it until it gets fixed or it's fired. And I thought it was getting to be fixed. And now we're back to maybe it needs to be fired. Gus Bradley versus Nick Holz. Yes.
Yep.
That's the offensive coordinator for the Titans. Who's your all-in player to watch?
I was kind of thinking about it. I don't know if I can go anyone on the offensive side of the ball. I feel like I've been offensive side of the ball heavy these past couple weeks.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to go Zaire Franklin. He tends to have a big game against the Titans, especially last year, 4th and 1, stopping Derrick Henry in the gap by himself.
Yep.
Great play. So he's going to have another big game.
All right. I am also going defensive side of the ball. I think this is maybe my first defensive side of the ball player to watch.
Okay.
I'd have to go back to be sure. But Sam Womack.
Okay. I like
now
it.
getting his opportunity to start as cornerback number 2 opposite Jalen Jones. Obviously, a lot of questions heading into the season about that cornerback defensive back unit. And then even more when there were significant injuries and now cuts and releases and things like that. But Sam Womack came in just a few days before the season started. And he's been playing his mind off out there, out of his mind out there. There you go. And so keep it up, young buck. let's
Yeah.
see what you got. He said that he wanted to make sure he never got cut or released again. So let's go. This is your opportunity. You're out there starting. Let's do it. Your prediction then for this game. Who's going to win? What's the score going to be?
I think it's gonna be 18-21. Kind of odd score. Titans win.
I also have the Titans winning. And an even odder score. Because it always seems like the Titans and Colts have odd scores. 22-19.
Okay, so by a field goal as well. We both
Yes.
got it by a field goal, just 1 point apart. Titans win. So we very
Yeah.
similar in the way we were
Yeah.
thinking.
See, you at least have a 21 score. Like 21 is like that's a football score. 22-19.
That's like you miss 2 extra points, and then some team gets a 2-point conversion.
Right. I mean, to be fair, like in this exact game last year in Tennessee, there was a pick 2.
Sure.
Like the Colts went for 2, got it picked, and they ran it all the way back for another 2. Pick 2? Are you kidding me? But then we got to use it when we made our pick 6 all the way to the playoffs, and it was like the NFC AFC championship.
Yep.
We got to use it because you could
did.
2 games, pick 2.
Yeah, exactly.
We knew it was actually possible.
I know, right?
I mean, only against the Titans did we figure out that things are possible.
I guess so.
And also against this in Tennessee last year, the Colts had their second helicopter against a tackle against a quarterback.
Oh, yep.
Right? Remember
Yeah.
lots of years ago, there was the Houston one where they spun, quarterback went and they got spun.
Yep.
They did again against Will
Will
Levis
Levis,
last
yeah.
year. So
They
that
did.
means they only got one more team to go in the division for the division sweep.
The division helicopter tackle sweep.
Yeah. I mean, who has that on their bingo card? No one.
No one.
Only the Colts.
Yep.
The question now is, will it be now several years before we get it again, or will we get to see Trevor Lawrence's hair spin?
That would
in
be
addition,
fun to watch.
That would be.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Well, that is it for this week. We'll be back. Plus our update from the South, Fantasy Stable, as well as our Unstable Pick 6 prediction show, and our preview of next week's home game against the Dolphins.
Yep. This is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.